Hello, everybody. It is Monday, December, the 11th, I believe, January 11th. I know I haven't put a video out in a little while. Had some things I had to attend to with my car being broke down and all that wonderful stuff. Thankfully, I've got support. I don't know that I'd be here today with y'all if it wasn't for my mom, Nancy. She's really kept me going. So anyway, even though she does watch CNN, and I can't get her off of it, but anyway, I just want to let you guys know a few things, as I know a lot of you still think, especially now that Congress, quote unquote, certified the Electoral College votes for Biden, that you think it's over. I know a lot of people do. A lot of people tell me so. I still have a lot of people roll their eyes at me when I tell them it's not. Okay? This whole thing had to be play out this way. I've told you before that President Trump had to exhaust every legal avenue that he could to expose all this fraud, election fraud, and this foreign interference in our elections for everyone to see. Unfortunately, every judge that this was brought to didn't even bother looking at any evidence. If you've heard otherwise, it's a lie. No judge has looked at anything, not even the Supreme Court. They refuse to it. So they're not refusing it because it's not warranted. They're refusing it because they're corrupt. So he had to go through everything, went all the way up, even through the Supreme Court, and then he gave Mike Pence a chance to do the right thing. Mike even said that he was going to, up until that day, and then of course he didn't. And then you saw him and Pelosi, poking elbows at each other, smiling and laughing, and Pelosi gave him something, a coin or some shit, I don't know what it was. So we've got no legal avenue yet to get this process through. And he wanted to do it this way so you guys would know that he's not being a dictator when what's going to happen coming up shortly happens. Okay? He's not going to let this election slide. He knows there was major fraud, major corruption. We had news recently, I think it was the day of, on the 6th, where they found out that Italy was complicit in this. The Vatican was complicit in interfering with our election. And Italy used its own military to use a satellite system called Leonardo, which is owned by the Vatican. Some private contracting company actually owns it, but the Vatican uses it. Why the Vatican needs a satellite is beyond me. And they use these satellites to manipulate the votes to go from the U.S. to Germany or something like that, Frankfurt, back up to the satellites with the real numbers, and then satellites back to the U.S. with the fake numbers. That's where you saw those spikes, and big spikes. I mean, if you were following this properly, and you saw the graphs where Biden had these huge spikes, where it was physically impossible for that many votes to be counted at that short a time frame. That's what it was from. So they have proof on this. They've got testimonies from people that were involved in Italy. They came forward. From what I understand, the president of Italy has been arrested. There's a picture of him being arrested, and Mike Pompeo's there too. And the Vatican went down as far as electricity. It was dark for a while. You probably heard reports that the Pope was arrested, and although he should be and he will be, I think that was fake news. That was disinformation. I don't know. It was put out by the conservative Beaver, for one, who's a joke. They're the same news outlet that in December posted that Hunter Biden had just been arrested, and Joe was next, and this big long article, and nobody else had any information on it, and it turned out to be not true. They also put an article out in May, I believe, last year, about Obama being arrested for espionage or some bullshit. So I wouldn't believe that right now. I mean, it could be true, but I doubt that the conservative Beaver is going to be the newspaper that breaks that story. They don't even know who the owner is of the conservative Beaver. The person that it shows on their website is fake. It's not even the pictures and all that. But anyway, so they know that happened, and that tied everything together. So they have it all. They had it before, but now they know exactly how it went. So we've got some tough, and I've been telling you guys this for a while. We've got some tough times coming up. I never knew when it was going to be. I still don't know when it's going to be. But from what I understand, it has to happen while President Trump's in his first term. So he's only got like 9 more days to do this. And I've been told by some very credible people. I say credible because these people, one of them I know personally. Others I've been following that have said things that were true, and it was proven true. I pray all the time for discernment from God, so I know to try to decipher what's real, what's not. And I think he's blessed me with some good contacts. So I was told by these people that President Trump did sign an Insurrection Act Saturday night. He was supposed to speak to the nation Saturday night, but it never happened. And we found out the next day that they got some intel at the last minute, so they had to postpone it. That intel had something to do with General Electric and the Chinese Communist Party trying to broker a deal for China to buy out General Electric. And they were trying to do that. General Electric makes some of the engines for our jet fighters are made by General Electric. So, and among other things in the military. So they had to try to get that stopped. But I think that was the straw that got President Trump to sign the Insurrection Act. And if you don't know what that is, you might want to look it up. The first thing that he has to do to enact it is publicly tell the people that are the insurrectionists, which, as you know, that's what they called the Trump supporters on the 6th, were insurrectionists for storming the Capitol, which they didn't do. But and then Trump came out and told everybody not to do that, the protest is over, to peacefully leave and go home and clear the streets. And Twitter banned or censored that video. Nobody could understand why, because he was telling everybody to clear out. Well, now we know why, because that's the first part of the Insurrection Act, is he has to tell people to stop protesting and go home, and that's exactly what he did. So now the Insurrection Act is going to look like martial law, but it's not. Martial law is total control by the military of the United States, Insurrection Act is a little bit different. The military will be enacted, will be positioned at certain places throughout the United States, but they are there to assist federal, local, and state police in getting their duties taken care of. During this time, a lot of people are supposed to be arrested for their treason. And when that happens, internet's supposed to go down. I don't know about cellular phones. I think there's going to be no TV cable or anything like that. And the president's going to use the emergency broadcast system. So make sure you have that turned on your phone. You should go into settings and make sure your emergency broadcast systems are turned on. Apple tried to turn everybody's off through a recent update. So if you got an iOS and you had a recent update and you had it on automatic updates and they turned it off for you, you might not even be able to turn it back on. I don't know. I never have automatic updates loaded on my phone. I like to whenever they have an update, I like to go research what the update's about and what why they're doing it before I download it. And sure enough, Monday morning there was an update sitting there ready to be downloaded, which I haven't done yet. So through the emergency broadcast system, you're going to have instructions on what to do and what not to do. I suggest you follow them. So if the internet goes down, then there's going to be no credit card processing. There's going to be no ATMs. You might want to make sure you have cash on hand just in case. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm not, you're going to get caught with your pants down with no money, with just credit cards, which are no good if you need gas or something. So with that said, make sure your gas tanks are full in your cars. Make sure you have food and water in the house for a couple of weeks or however long you can make it. I don't think we're going to have a whole lot of issues in Baton Rouge. I don't think we're going to have any out here in Livingston. Of course, I could be wrong, but I don't think it's going to be anything like the big cities where they expect riotings and things like that go when the deep state's going to unleash their people when Trump does that. So just keep an eye out for that. Time's getting close. I've heard reports that it could start as early as today. By the internet going down, there's going to be a complete block of communications throughout the continental United States. So if you're having issues calling people or you can't get online, remember what I'm telling you. You're going to hear the emergency broadcasts if it hadn't happened at that point. But if you can't get online for some reason and you're calling people and you can't get in touch with no one and nothing seems to be working at your job, expect it. So with that said, he's gonna also during the emergency broadcast they're supposed to be providing evidence of everything, not just the election fraud and who was involved, but everything that we've been talking about. Pizzagate, Obamagate, Ukraine with Biden, Wiener's laptop, Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, and her emails that she deleted. They have all that, and they're supposed to come out and let you know what's what. There's going to be some confessions, video confessions of people, so they know it's true. So we know it's true, and a lot of people aren't going to like it, but I'm going to love it because we're finally getting rid of the cabal and the deep state. Finally. And that's supposed to happen to do that. And then, of course, Trump will become, will get his second term. So don't believe, there's going to be a lot of disinformation right now going throughout the news. If anything fantastic is reported, like, oh, President Trump was assassinated or such and such or this or that, don't believe it. All right, there's going to be a bunch of when they realize that the time is now, the deep state's going to try to get everyone confused more than they are already. That's why it's necessary to turn off the internet and turn off the have the internet shut down and cable TV and all that shut down. It's the only thing that you're going to have to get information from is the emergency broadcast system. But anyway, that's going to happen. I feel it's going to happen soon. I'm hearing it from other sources, not just mine now. A lot of them. So it's been said 2 years ago this was going to happen. And things that were predicted 2 years ago that already happened were predicted were going to happen 2 years, 3 years ago. So far everything's going in place like we were told, but we were never given dates or anything like that. So, because plans change, but we're good to go so far. Y'all just remember this, keep it in the back of your mind in case you do hear the emergency broadcast system or in case you cannot get online or anything like that. All right. If you have any questions, private message me, call me, whatever you need to do, I'll be happy to help you out. I love all of y'all. Stay safe. Where we go one, we go all.